we have a very special interview today. I'm speaking with Johny Matjiunis. So Johny is not only my very closest friend, he's my partner and co-founder at Jobtable. He is the owner of iPLUM Inc., a very successful plumbing contracting company in Toronto, throughout Ontario, actually. And we are here today to talk about how he kicked off Jobtable, how he's using Jobtable, and everything in between. So Johny, thanks so much for taking the time out of your busy day.
Thank you for having me.
Look, we have a very unique origin story with Jobtable, and I want you to quickly share it in terms of how we started Jobtable, how it all sort of came about into what it is today.
Yeah, so we basically started iPLUM about 15 years ago. You know, one guy in a truck all the way to about 30 employees now. Just found a lot of the growing pains. We needed a lot of, some of our processes weren't streamlined. So I thought there's got to be a better way. So, we tried a lot of different products that are on the market. We kind of found nothing really fit, where everything was kind of harmonized. So, I know I reached out to you, being one of my best friends, being, in the software game, asking, what we can do. And we built, Jobtable originally internally for our company, a little beta version. And we quickly, kind of found that it was very impactful. And, I think, both of us kind of realized that, this is something that a lot of these programs don't have, that are available. And we decided to kind of, kick it up a notch. And instead of having a beta version, put it into the hands of other contractors in a packaged format, where everybody can use it. And,
Exactly. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. And now it's in the hands of thousands of contractors and growing, providing real value. Quickly, tell us about your company, real quick. Like how big's your company? What are you guys doing today?
right now we're about, I want to say about 25 employees. Um, we do work all throughout Ontario, all commercial, industrial, mid-rise, service, basically, anything to keep us busy.
Yeah, amazing. Perfect. So before Jobtable, you guys were obviously growing, things were working. You were looking to improve your processes and systems, but how are you managing the business before Jobtable?
Before Jobtable was literally QuickBooks, Excel spreadsheets, Google Calendar. I want to say at least like 10 different programs. And that's where I found it very, I just want to say it wasn't helpful, right? Because you have to make sure everybody is using all these programs at the same time and everybody's talking to each other and everybody's updating. And that's where we kind of found that there's a big hole in our industry, and no better person to explain that hole that's in our industry than somebody that lives it, right? So
Absolutely. So going from running a business that, using multiple systems, programs, and now Jobtable. So how was that transition, and what has improved the most in your business processes?
what has improved the most is just like the consolidation of everything into one product. I want to say that's probably one of the most powerful tools, that a lot of people, I guess, they just don't notice. There's a lot of programs out there that do a lot of little bits here and there, which is great. But how do you consolidate that all into one? How do you put everything into one program where all you need is one program to run your company? And whether it's some guy out on the field or somebody in the office or the owner, you can, own, manage, operate, project manage, do accounting all on the fly.
Yeah, perfect. So what would you say? What are the one or two features you'd say in Jobtable that save you the most time?
One or two of the features that say, well, there's a lot of good features in Jobtable. I know sounds cliche to say, but I would say one of the ones that save the most time, I would say, is the attachments in the jobs. So in the jobs section, once a job becomes active, you have this attachment section which basically, that was designed to, upload your drawings, upload your specs, any type of measurements, any type of as-built drawings. This way, if somebody's out on the field, or if you have multiple crews out on the field, everybody's not always calling the office or calling the project manager or calling the owner, what's the measurement here? What's the layout here? Right? Just that, if you have 2 crews, 3 crews, 5 crews, right? 20 minutes of digging into emails, trying to find the documents that the people on site are looking for. You times that throughout the day, throughout the week, it's a lot of wasted time. So, we found that when we created Jobtable, we needed a harmonized section that no matter whether you're in the office, no matter whether you're the owner, no matter whether you're a guy on site, everybody should have the access to the documents that's required to complete the job. So I want to say that feature alone, like that's one that stands out to me just off the top of my head, that even the guys on the field, like they love, right? Because now it doesn't matter whether they're going to one job today or another job tomorrow. They know that if they log into Jobtable, regardless of which site they're on, they go into the attachments, all the information they need to complete their work is right there. So I want to say that one alone I saves hours a week just in, BS that, everybody should have access to before they step onto a job.
Yeah, that one's a game changer. I speak to people every day who are saving so many hours and just saving time, efficiency by just keeping things central like that. I thought you were going to talk about another feature. What's another impactful feature that you've been talking about? I think it's important we touch on that one as well.
Oh, well, the one that I speak to people about all the time is the docu-signing feature. That one to me, or the digital signature, sorry. So that one to me is one that I think is overlooked by a lot of people. I don't think they understand how powerful that tool is, because everything is always to protect the client, right? Obviously, we're charging the client. The client needs to feel protected, and they need to feel like, everything's fair, which it has to be. But what is there to protect us, right? It's not like you're going to go and, quote, to do a rough-in in somebody's basement and, go to a lawyer to grab a legal document where the client can sign. So, I always thought, how can we protect the contractor, right? So to me, that digital signature, so you create a quote, you send a quote right from Jobtable to the client, and in the email, the client has the ability to click on that button and digitally sign your quote. So when they digitally sign the quote, it becomes a legal binding document, which now, whatever you wrote on your quote, the client knows that there's a level of transparency that, these are the terms and conditions. This is what I'm including. This is the price, and this is what's not included, right? So if the client ever tries to, kind of say, oh, you said you were going to do this, you said you were going to do that, it's signed. You know what I mean? It's a legal binding document, right? It's a level of transparency between the client and the contractor, and from the contractor to the client, to ensure that, you're just mitigating any, unnecessary, legal repercussions.
Yeah, very, very important. I know we both really encourage all of our clients to utilize that feature, no matter how big or small the job is either. Very, very important to protect yourself.
Yeah, I always
Another
say,
question.
sorry to
Yeah, go
interrupt,
ahead.
Ross. I just wanted to say, um, it's a very important tool, and people have to understand that, it's just like insurance, right? You get insurance. God forbid something happens, right? You're not getting insurance after something happens, right? So it's the exact same thing with the digital signature, right? I know you probably trust the client. You probably worked with them before, right? But there's no hurt with just asking them, listen, I put everything that I'm including and not including on my quote. These are my terms and conditions. You know what I mean? Just sign it, right? And this way, you have a copy of it. I have a copy of it. There's a level of transparency. And at the same time, it is a legal binding document, right? So I just wanted to really emphasize that, because that's something that, again, I noticed when, even me, when I'm talking to other contractors and I explain that maybe for the second time, like a light bulb goes off in their head and they start to say, oh yeah, and every contractor should get in the habit of doing that. Whether you know them or you don't know them, just get them to sign it. It's no hurt.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't have said it better myself. So we're in an industry, as you know firsthand, where a lot of the people might not be the most tech savvy. A lot of people might actually be intimidated by software in a lot of cases. So, in your own words, how easy was it to learn and start using Jobtable and actually implement it in your business and your employees and all that?
So, a couple of things on that. First things first, even though, I am one of the founders of Jobtable, before, jumping in and, wanting to basically package this to hit the market, I'm not really tech savvy at all. And the way I explain it to people is if you can navigate Instagram, if you can navigate Facebook, you can navigate Jobtable, right? That's why we created it. We created it for a simplicity, right? And I think we really hit that mark on it. And then just to touch base on that exact same point, I have a 67-year-old, you know, person on staff. So somebody who's not well versed on a smartphone. Um, so when we implemented it in our company and he had to get trained on it, it took him about 15 minutes. That's it. So we
Wow.
got an almost close to a 70-year-old man that has been a plumber his whole life, no tech savviness to him at all. That was about a 15. I'll even give you 20-minute learning curve, right? So yeah, just to answer your question in simplicity, without being biased, it is the most simple to use software, and that's actually exactly how it was designed.
100% for sure. That's amazing. And finally, Johnny, what would you say to the contractors out there who are still on the fence about implementing a software, maybe considering Jobtable? What would you say to the people out there that are still on the fence?
I would say if you don't try it, you don't know, right? Basically, if Jobtable can save you 2 hours a week, 3 hours a week, doesn't matter how small your company is. Obviously, the more employees, the more jobs you have, the more times it's going to save you. We get a lot of guys that basically say, "Oh, I'm just one guy." The way I'm doing it right now, it's easy to manage. No, I understand, but uh, you know, time is the biggest commodity. So if you can save an hour a day times 5 days a week, that's 5 hours. That's almost a full workday. Times a month. You know what I mean? You're looking at half a week. You know, so I would just say that you don't know what you don't know, and that's why what I encourage everybody to do is give it a shot. Right? Just like the lottery, you'll never win if you don't play. Right? So if you don't want to give 14 days of a free trial, just to try it out to see if it's actually saving you time, there's nothing else we can do to help you. We can show you the door, but we can't walk you through it. It's not a sale. It's not a sales pitch. It's one of those things where it's like our software was designed for contractors by somebody who still owns and operates a company in the industry. There's nobody that knows our industry better than us, right? So my word of advice is there's a 14-day free trial. There's no obligation. Give it a shot. And the one thing I can promise you is that if you give it a fair shake, you will never turn back.
Perfect way to wrap this up. I think we should end it there. Johnny, really appreciate it. We'll be in touch.
Thank you.